Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 598. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, everybody?
All right, so I was talking to Chris off air, and I came across this very interesting article about basically what the hell, I was going to say Man of Steel. Oh, my God. What does Batman versus Superman have to make in order to what? Break even?
Yeah.
So why don't you just talk about how much they spent and...
Sure. It says here that the initial investment for the movie, the budget for the movie, was $250 million. And then it says with an extra $150 million for marketing, which I'm assuming is entailing or entails both the domestic marketing and the international or global marketing.
Right.
That's huge.
Yes.
That is a huge budget.
$400 million.
Yeah, I had heard that this was going to be probably the most expensive movie of all time.
Right.
Right now, anyway.
So, and that's probably not even it that they're spending. Now, according to them, what do they say? Just not even so much to be profitable, but what? Just to break even?
Yeah. Break
even means that when you say break even, we mean there's no intentions of sequels, basically, right? I mean...
No. I believe they're talking about a strictly financial aspect. Accounting-wise, it's like you're not losing money,
but you're not gaining money. No, but what I'm saying from that perspective, say you put a movie out. Say it's not Batman vs. Superman. And
sure.
$400 million, right?
Sure.
When you make $800 million, well, we're going to say $800 million, supposedly, that's the amount that they're saying Batman vs. Superman has to make in order for it to break even.
Yeah.
Okay. Here is the big thing that we need to pay attention to, okay? And if it was any other movie, right, just a regular movie, and let's just say it did $800 million, right? That wouldn't ordinarily warrant it to say, hey, man, we got to do a sequel to this because it broke even, okay? In order for it, let's just say they did this movie without planning the whole DC cinematic universe, right? This movie's made the way it is, right? And they're basically, in this case, in this alternate hypothetical situation, they're going to see how it does before they create the DC cinematic universe. If it makes $800 million, that's not a sign to create the DC cinematic universe. It would basically have to make $1 billion or more in order for it, in that case, to say, hey, let's make more or whatever. So now, to me, right, the stakes are higher than ever because I, for one, don't think it will make $800 million, okay? Because I feel that, yes, it may make 150 the opening week, but I think word of mouth, this thing's going to drop like a damn missile, and it won't even come close to $800 million. Now, what do you have to say, Chris?
Well, this is. I want to point out something that the article said too. It has to make $800 million to break even. Purely, they said it's only if you're looking at the box office numbers. This isn't counting merchandise or anything outside of the box office. So, as an overall investment, I think that it has to make around that much by itself, not with the merchandise and stuff. That stuff's added in later. So even if it doesn't do well at the box office, I believe by what they're saying is it can still make up the money on merchandise and stuff like that. The merchandise to me hasn't been that impressive. I've seen some of the things up close. I've held some of the merchandise. I haven't bought any of it. Some of it looks good. Some of it is not so good. I haven't really seen a lot. Like a friend of mine, I was with them a couple of days ago, and we went to a Toys R Us to see what amiibos they had out for Nintendo and whatnot. And he said that he had been there a couple of days prior, and the Batman versus Superman stuff was all the way in the back in a corner, right? So we walked over there, and it wasn't a lot of stuff. It was literally in the corner, like where nobody goes. Because I've been going to that store. I've lived here in the same place for a really long time. I've been going there since I was a kid. And I know I've never even been to that side of the store, basically.
Wow.
Ever since it was redone a long time ago. I've been there like once or twice. So for it to be there is kind of weird.
Right.
But anyway, getting back to the article, I think it's possible for it to make that much. I'm not thinking it's going to. I agree with you because I don't think this movie is going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
I think casual fans will probably have a blast. I think that some comic book fans will love it, and some comic book fans will hate it. I'm looking at a pretty – I'm thinking it's going to be pretty similar to how Man of Steel was received, which to me, to this day, I don't think we'll ever see that again that way. I think Batman vs. Superman will have a little more likes than it does dislikes, but Man of Steel to me was completely down the middle.
Yeah.
Like I never saw a ground where, more people like it. It was always 50 hate it, 50 love it.
That was like Prometheus.
Yeah.
Totally split.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, that's why I said do Man of Steel 2.
Thank you.
Because, you got to prove yourself.
Right.
With Superman that he has. Here's the thing. Batman didn't have to prove himself staying power. Okay? That's what was making DC money. The biggest question when they decided to do this Justice League thing is they didn't want to screw up Batman because that was their meal ticket. That was the only thing that was making them money. Okay? So they didn't even want to put him in Justice League originally, the whole thing. Now, okay, Superman, to me, should have had at least Man of Steel 2, possibly 3, before they even would have attempted a Batman vs. Superman because you didn't really establish the character. I mean, he was Superman for such a short amount of time, and he's killing somebody already. So, to me, that's not – like, he's a baby. Like, he's new. He's a newbie. Like, it's like, who the hell is Superman? It's like brand new. You didn't get establishment of a rogue gallery of villains, nothing. You didn't even get to see him work at the Daily Planet until, I guess, this movie. Really. I mean, so, to me, I was against them doing Batman vs. Superman so soon. This movie, and another thing that they have against them is Zack Snyder, right?
Yeah.
A little cocky towards Marvel. Like, the one thing you really don't do is you want to make a name for yourself with your movie for DC. Don't start bashing Marvel because what happens is that karma's going to bite you right on the ass. And you watch this movie doesn't even make what Ant-Man made, which he made fun of, by the way.
Yeah.
So what is that going to say about you when the movie that you bashed, you couldn't even make more than that? Okay? I'm telling you right now, and this is going to be – people are not going to be happy with what I have to say. Okay? I'm a Marvel guy. Okay? In case anybody didn't know, if you ever questioned it, what side am I on? Marvel Comics, right? I'm not really familiar too much. I'm not an expert of the comics with DC like I feel like Marvel, right? But I got to tell you that I feel, from whatever I've seen, okay, this movie's not going to do it. Now, I've been wrong in the past, and I've been right. This movie's not gonna be like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I can't believe this. This is in my top 10. No way, right? I don't even think that this movie's gonna make $1 billion, to tell you the truth. My prediction is this movie may make a lot of money opening week, but it's gonna skyrocket downward. Now, it doesn't really have any competition, okay? But I still feel what's even going to be the biggest disgrace is that with hardly anything going against it the next following couple weeks, it's still going to skyrocket downward. Because I think that what's going to happen is the overall consensus is the fans are going to rebel against this movie because of the characterization of Superman not being like Superman and Batman not really being like Batman. Okay? Just for the cha-ching, right? When I say like Batman's like totally out of character, every DC movie we've seen with Batman, he hasn't made a mistake going after the wrong party. Okay? That I've seen with all the movies. I'm talking about the movies. I'm not even talking about the comics. Okay? Now all of a sudden he's going to be like, oh, I think. So you want to kill somebody because you think that. And the fact that they didn't explain it too well about him doing nothing with Metropolis and Gotham being in danger with the attack from Zod and everything. So, again, guys, my prediction, it won't make more than $1 billion. And if it does make $1 billion, it won't even come close to Avengers money. That's what I'm telling you. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably right. I had an issue with in The Dark Knight Rises when Alfred was trying to tell Bruce, look at the way Bane fights. Look at how look how fast he. Look at his speed, his ferocity, stuff like that. And he was just like, "Yeah, I'll fight harder. I always do." I was like, "Huh? Like, what? That's not Batman. Like, what? That's not what Batman does." I always said that the weakest part of Nolan's trilogy was that they didn't portray Batman as much of as like a detective. I always got the feeling like it was everybody around him was doing this stuff, and then they were telling him, and he was like, "All right, I'll do this." Like, I didn't get, like, to me, Batman figures this stuff out by himself. He asks for help if he needs it, but he figures it out by himself, comes up with a plan, a strategy, backup plans, contingencies in case something goes wrong, and then does it. And I think some of the most interesting stories are when his plans fail because somebody outthought him, like the Riddler, the Joker, Ra's al Ghul, the Penguin. Someone like that outthinks him.
Right.
That's really intriguing stuff. The Red Hood,
Right.
But I just don't like. I keep watching these. Like when I was watching the trailers, and I'm seeing these TV spots now, and I'm just like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's just not right about this. Like it just doesn't seem. It doesn't seem. And like I've read the spoilers for the movie. I'm still not impressed. Honestly, that's just me.
Right.
I think that because I looked up Man of Steel's box office. It made $668 million. That was the final cut for that movie. If this does that, apparently it won't be successful unless the merchandise picks it up. I think if that happens, the executives at Warner Brothers have to really look at each other and say, did we make a mistake?
Oh, yeah.
Did we make a mistake in entrusting this to Zack Snyder? Now, this is the thing. I don't hate Zack Snyder. I think he does good work with other things like Watchmen, 300, any other movie. Sucker Punch. I thought Sucker Punch was okay. Visually, things look good. I wish there was more color with this movie, but whatever. I'm not going to complain about that. I just feel like he's getting the characters wrong. I really do.
Totally wrong. Totally wrong.
And this is the thing, right? With him, bashing Marvel, he's doing it. He's stirring the pot so that the DC fans will be like, "Yeah, fuck Marvel," and then they'll be so like angsty to go see the movie, so that Marvel just gets trashed. My favorite hero isn't even from Marvel and DC, but I still love Marvel and DC.
Right.
And I think that I don't really see a need for there to be like this vitriol, like it's DC or nothing, Marvel or nothing. Like I think that we're getting superhero movies. Awesome. Of course there's going to be competition, but I don't think we need people going out there going, well, this Marvel character's stupid because of this. Our DC characters are perfect. Well, this DC character is stupid because of this. Our Marvel characters are perfect. It's just childish to me. I don't think you need to do it, but I don't know. I just don't think this movie is going to make as much money as they're hoping, and I think they're going to be kind of sitting there. And then you know what they'll do? Their backup plan will be, let's make more Batman movies. People like Batman movies.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but there was a Twitter exchange debate that I've been having past couple of days. It started with Dan Slott, who's the writer of, Amazing Spider-Man. And he was having an exchange with some people on Twitter where there are some people that believe that Superman should kill, and this is the way to go, and that this is, after 75 years, it's time to change it up, and that, he's killed in the past, and that's nothing wrong with killing for Superman. And to me, I was like, it was getting really interesting past couple of days. And again, to me, it's a friendly debate. We're all passionate about what we believe about, the heroes that we grew up with. I grew up with them, so did Dan Slott, so did everybody. So we all have a perception of what we think of Superman and Batman and Spider-Man and all that. And I agree with Dan Slott. Like, the Superman that I know doesn't kill people. Even on Supergirl TV show, he doesn't kill people. So, I was trying to explain, people were like, well, why is this, I was trying to explain to my friends, I was like, this is the situation with Zack Snyder, okay? Picture, a 5-year-old in the playground, all right, Chris? He's got his Batman toy, he's got his Superman toy, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm Superman, I'm going to kill you, Batman, I'm going to kill you, ha, 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 right? Now, give this kid tons of money, make him grow up, and what does he do? He does the same battle in the schoolyard with no intellectual thinking whatsoever to what the characters are. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you, Batman, Superman. And it's like, doesn't make any effing sense whatsoever. Now, again, people are like, oh, is he a true fan? I was like, everybody is a fan, okay? I don't like to say this one's not a true fan, this one's not a true fan.
Because nobody's in that position to make that argument.
Right. Everybody, they have a passion for the character, but they see a perspective that may not necessarily be what the character really is. But that's their vision of it. So they give him the power, the money, right? Now keep in mind, okay, Christopher Nolan was going to be heavily with the DC Cinematic Universe, right? They made this key decision in Man of Steel. They wanted Superman to kill Zod. Christopher Nolan said, absolutely not. You cannot do this, right? They tried to wear him down. Eventually, they overruled, okay? So what does Christopher Nolan do? You know what? Out. I'm out. I'm not.
I'm pretty sure he's a producer for this movie, though.
He's not directing. He's not, he's not really involved as much as he could have been. Okay? So, and I heard he wasn't really, I heard he saw it. And he didn't really say, he liked it. So
I remember that. I think Collider reported that, yeah.
Right. And I remember that there was an exchange between him and Zack Snyder, and Zack Snyder was saying, listen, if he didn't tell me it was okay to do it, I wasn't going to do it. But he said it was okay. And I remember him saying that Christopher Nolan, in that article, right, if that's true, that article, Christopher Nolan says, well, this is your interpretation of it. But someone else is going to come along, regardless of what it does, and they're going to change the whole entire thing and do their vision. And then, other people who are not happy will be satisfied, basically. So, in so many words, it's like saying, I don't agree with it either, but eventually it will be fixed. So, I honestly feel, I'm gonna give a figure. $454 million, right?
Okay.
To be generous, I'll give a second figure, $600 million. Worldwide, done. That's it. Third figure, under $800 million. Three choices. I'll say $749. So I'm going to say 3 figures. I ultimately think it will never reach 800 million. This is the doomsday scenario. Okay, Chris. Well, first,
doomsday.
Yeah. First of all, do you want to comment about anything? What do you think before we go?
No, there is something I wanted to say because I 100% agree with you when you said this. I didn't jump in because I wanted to hear you finish saying it, but when you said that, everyone does their own interpretation of a character, and you don't necessarily have to agree with it. I always bring this up, so I'm going to sound like a broken record, but with The Dark Knight Returns, the comic book, the graphic novel, I should say, and the 2 animated movies that they made, I loved the way that Batman was in those books. Loved it. I couldn't stand the way Superman was. It was a crime against Superman. Like, fictional character. They could have brought a court case for, defamation of character. It was the worst. I couldn't stand it. But I would never question whether or not Frank Miller was a Batman or a Superman fan.
Right.
If he sees it his way,
right,
and they gave him control to do his own story, I think that's great. And I think he did a great job with Batman. I think he failed across the board with Superman. I really do. And unfortunately, that's carrying over to this movie. And people ask me all the time, why do you not like this movie so much? Because of what they're loosely basing it off of. I don't like The Dark Knight Returns. So why would I like The Dark Knight Returns, the live-action movie?
Right.
Basically.
Didn't they come off like Superman was like a crazy?
He worked for. He was basically working for President Reagan, right? And they never say. I don't think they ever say his name in the movie, but it's so clearly Reagan. It's not even. There was a slanted political thing in that movie, and they made Batman the anti-authority figure, which he's been. I'm not contesting that, but they had Superman flying around, destroying Soviet ships, and just sinking them. And I was like, if you mean to tell me that you guys don't think that people died because of what he did, destroying ships, blowing up tanks, you're crazy.
Right.
You're denying what's right on the screen.
Right.
And that made me very uncomfortable because I was like, I didn't know when does Superman do that?
Right, exactly.
What? Why is he working for the government? Why is he he cuts off Green Arrow's arm.
Right.
I'm sitting there like, what?
It's like that's when you actually get to see what the writer's vision of that character is.
Right.
Just like look what they do with Captain America, the Falcon that's Captain America. The guy with Sam Wilson was a likable character. I used to read about him for decades, right, as the Falcon. I used to love him as the Falcon, right? This guy takes over, and it's like Republicans are – why are you putting it in a comic book? So kids could read about it and then follow suit. Republicans are evil, and they're not they're anti-Americans. I'm like, what is this hate shit? What is this garbage? And guess what? He's not gonna be. Steve Rogers is gonna be back. So thank you. Okay, thank you for making that choice, Marvel. But you ruined the character of the Falcon. I love the Falcon. You ruined him.
Right.
Ruined to the point of you might as well just kill him off because you can't fix him now. That's my philosophy with that. And this is someone's personal thing that they tried to put into the comics to make other followers. And that's no good. There's not a place for the comics. So this guy's interpretation, like you said in The Dark Knight, of Superman, he really don't like Superman. I would get from that.
That's what I got from it. Like I said, I'm not going to question whether or not he's a Superman fan or not, but if somebody asked me, hey, based on The Dark Knight Returns, do you think that Frank Miller likes Superman? I'd say no.
Right.
Because you know what it was? It was finally something for Batman fans to say, we beat Superman.
Right.
That's what it felt like. The whole time Superman was in this movie, I was like, they are doing this to make him the bad guy. They are doing this to make him the bad guy. And I was like, this is not going to work. And then That is exact. Not to mention that they make up a whole weakness for Superman, which, to my knowledge, didn't exist beforehand.
Right.
But, you know, it was like Superman saves the world from a nuke. Like, he saves Gotham City from a nuke. Nearly kills him. I was like, I didn't know Superman could be killed by nukes. I heard that he could
right.
But whatever. Batman gets out of bed and he goes, Clark, you idiot. And I'm like, the fuck? He just saved the city. Like, what? Pardon my language. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, what? I'm sitting there going, I don't understand what's happening in this movie. Why is Superman being portrayed like this? Why is he like the bad guy? Why do I not like this Superman? Like, what the hell?
I don't like him looking like he's constipated. Like he's got to take a shit. His face, it looks like his face is CGI and his flesh is going to come off. And like Total Recall, 2 weeks. Like he looks like someone killed his children, his mother, his father. Like that Batman destroyed Krypton. That's what the face is, okay? And what's the reality of it? Batman said that you're a crappy photographer and reporter as Clark Kent. Did he do anything personal to make him have hatred?
There has to be. There has to be something in the movie that let Luthor make Superman believe Batman did this or something. There has to be, because I can't think that the reason they're fighting is because Superman thinks Batman is a criminal and Batman thinks Superman's... Batman's reason I get. He thinks Superman's going to destroy the world. Okay, fine. What evidence he has of that, I don't know. And Superman thinks Batman's a criminal. That's weak. To me,
it's weak. It's weak.
That's really weak.
It's definitely weak.
There has to be like something has to happen to Lois, and it's Luthor's doing, and he makes Superman think it was that Bat guy. He did it. Like
maybe Batman was attacking, and Lois Lane is in the hospital.
Yeah, something like that.
She's like a cripple, or she's like bones are broken, and he gets that face like like face.
Yeah, because when I saw that clip where he's like, the next time your signal's in the sky, don't answer it. The Bat is dead. Bury him. I was like, the fuck did Batman do?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell did he do?
Yes. Did he get his mother? And like, what the hell happened? Oh my God.
Did Superman realize he's the one who broke his favorite toy on the playground? Like, what the hell?
Well, here's another thing, right? It's like, okay, and not only do we got that nonsense, but you throw Wonder Woman there now. I see her in the tub. I see Bruce Wayne.
Oh, that wasn't her in the tub.
Oh, no, who was that?
That was Lois Lane.
Oh, he's making out with Lois Lane?
That was Superman, yeah. That was Clark and Lois.
Oh, okay. And then, but when's Wonder Woman doing there?
Apparently, this isn't a spoiler either. She's the ambassador to Themyscira. Which makes me like, wait, people know about this place? Like, what? What? Like, which, you know what gets me though? Like, if she's the ambassador to Themyscira, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole island of Amazons, right?
Yes.
What the hell were they doing when Zod was attacking?
Right? Are they in a beauty pageant?
Were they sleeping? Did they decide to take a nap during the attack? What the hell?
And then you got Doomsday. Then you got Darkseid, supposedly. And then the Justice League in the same movie? What in the fuck is that? That's like trying to make a pizza. And then you feel like cake, and you go to make the cake batter. It says, "Oh, you know what? I'm just going to take the pizza and throw it inside the cake batter with the chocolate frosting and just make this. This is Batman versus Superman right there." It's like, What is that? What is that? How is this? This is going to be a Amazing Spider-Man 2 on crack, basically. Because it's going to be, like, so effed up that you're going to be like, what?
Pretty much.
The Flash, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, this one, what? It's going to be friggin' a clusterfuck. That's what this movie's going to be. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to come on here and say I'm wrong. You know that. But to me, it's an effing disaster.
I mean, I get nervous about these things, like, movie-wise. You know, in reality, it's not a big deal. But movie-wise, it's like, why are they rushing? Like, what is the... You think the world's going to end in 2 years? What is the rush? Like really, like, okay, they say that, we're not competing with Marvel. But, why are you rushing?
They are hungry for Avengers money.
Yeah.
They want Avengers money. They want Marvel's Phase 1, 2, and 3 money. They're dying. They're like, oh, they want it so bad. They want it, Chris.
I know.
So let's get to the doomsday scenario. All right?
Doomsday. Yep.
Okay. And for those of you who are watching, just came into this, we're going to call it a alternate universe right now. So in this alternate universe, Batman vs. Superman fails to make $800 million. Okay? It makes like under $600 million. What do you think is going to happen the next day?
Okay. To me, I don't even know if it would be the next day.
I'm gonna say that Batman and Superman's out for a month.
Okay.
It's done. It's coming out of the theaters. It made under $600 million. Done. Completely.
Yeah. So at the end of its run, I think that the executives at Warner Bros. Have a meeting. They say what went wrong. They look over the things, and they probably come to the wrong conclusion. But maybe they figure it out. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and they say, this is what went wrong. And then hopefully they try to fix it. In my mind, I do not think they abort this universe. I think they've got too much invested into it right now to say, scrap it all, we're starting over. I think they got to go full speed ahead.
All right. You want to hear what I'm gonna say?
Yeah.
Okay. They're going to get in a meeting. They're like, oh, fuck. That's it? Justice League? Done. Cut Justice League. 1 and 2, goodbye. They're like, what do you mean? No, absolutely not. We can't do it. They're like, scrap everything you could possibly scrap. Well, Wonder Woman's out. Okay, put Wonder Woman out. Aquaman's done. Put Aquaman out. Suicide Squad 2, let's keep that. Okay. What didn't we film yet? Scrap everything. Then they'll say, but we got to put something out. Let's put out, a Batman movie. Absolutely not. No effing Batman movie. Well, we got to put out another Superman movie. We're not putting no Superman movie out. What they're going to do is they're going to see how Wonder Woman does. They're going to see how Aquaman does. Suicide Squad 1 and 2. But they're going to watch. And then what they're going to do is they're going to decide, after they come out, they're probably going to reboot the entire universe because they only got as far as what? Wonder Woman and Aquaman? And Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
So, to me, what they're probably going to do in that case, that Superman fails, they're going to reboot the whole universe. They're going to give Superman a friggin' break, and they're going to put out a Batman reboot in 2020. Okay? Different actor, different thing. 2020, they'll also put out a Superman reboot, and then they'll just do separate movies, building up slowly like they should have done. Unless, of course, Wonder Woman takes off, or Aquaman takes off, then they'll give them sequels. But I honestly think that if this does fail, the big crux of the DC Cinematic Universe, they will chop it in complete half, Chris. In complete half. And they'll say, we're not ready for the Justice League. Superman, it failed. We blame Superman character and Zack Snyder. He's at fault. He also ruined the Batman character. We're not even doing that either. And they're going to reboot everything. I'm telling you right now. So that's what I feel. I feel that if this fails, they cancel the Justice League. There's no way that financial standpoint, they're going to say that they need to make $800 million. They make $600. There is no way they're going to show any more hundreds of millions of dollars towards any other thing because of this failure. And that's a doomsday scenario that they will just reboot the whole thing in 2020.
I think that's the doomsday scenario. I don't think that's going to happen, though.
Okay.
I personally think what I agree with you up there is if Batman vs. Superman doesn't do well, not necessarily fails, but it doesn't do as well as they want it to. I think, like you said, they have the meeting. They try to figure out what went wrong. They postpone Justice League. I think they then put out Batman movies because there was that article that said that's pretty much what they would do if this.
Ben Affleck?
Yeah, I think they would postpone the Justice League, put out a Batman movie or two, and then do Justice League to try and salvage it because I don't think they're going to reboot it unless it goes really bad. But I just don't see
Well, Chris, what's really bad, though? Isn't $600 million really bad?
What's really bad is Batman vs. Superman doesn't do well, Wonder Woman doesn't do well, and then Aquaman doesn't do well. It takes a series of failures for them to be like, we're done. We got to do it again.
Okay.
But I think the whole idea, though, I don't think it's going to be valid because I think Batman vs. Superman is going to do well. I think the casual fans are going to love it, which great. Hey, great. I think that some fans, DC fans, are going to love it, especially if Batman wins. If I don't know, if he wins in the movie, Batman fans are going to go through the roof. But then you've got the Superman fans who are going to be like, this movie sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Again, unless there's no winner, like there probably won't be, and then, then everybody's happy, maybe. But I got to tell you, though, I'm not seeing the reactions I would want to see if I was putting a movie out this big.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I always relate this here, because obviously I'm a bigger Godzilla fan than I am with everything else.
Yeah.
They are doing the same thing with Godzilla 2. When they came out and they're like, Ghidorah, Mothra, Rodan, same movie, sequel. I was like, whoa. Godzilla 2014 was good, but it wasn't that good, like to the point where you can just do whatever you want.
Right.
You need to fix some of the problems from the first one. Make a new monster for him to fight, build the story up, have more Godzilla, more interesting characters, fix it. Then when you get a really good movie, then you can do Ghidorah. Then you can do Mothra. Then you can do Rodan. But putting them all in the sequel is going to be exactly like this Batman vs. Superman thing. And it scares the hell out of me with that series.
And you know what's going to happen? People immediately, if this fails, they're going to say, this is it. This is the start of the superhero movie phasing out. Done.
Yep.
And then everybody's going to get, like, Marvel's not going to be scared. They're going to probably, like, they're probably going to be, like, glad that happened. But then they're going to be like, well, let's just keep an eye on things because what if it is phasing out? Like they might be like, oh, I don't know. Let's just looking in the corner of their eye and should we do that in Humans movie? No.
Yeah, no. I don't think it will. I don't think it will start to. I think it will start to phase out when you have both Marvel and DC making bad movies. Because when both companies start making bad movies, that's when people.
I think DC will just phase themselves out because honestly. See, I don't even know if Wonder Woman's going to be strong enough on her own, or Aquaman for that matter.
Yeah, I can't really say anything about those two because I haven't seen anything.
I really don't feel like I would, if I was doing the thing with DC, that would have not been my first choice or second choice.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, to me, you have Arrow, which is very successful. You have The Flash, which is very successful, and Legends Tomorrow, and everybody knows the DC universe from that. like this generation. They're not going to like this. And then what are you going to do? You might as well just do an Arrow movie or a Flash movie from TV or Supergirl movie. I'll tell you what I would do. If this did fail and I was running things with DC, I would scrap that thing. I would promote the TV into the movies. I would make a Supergirl movie, 100 million% with the cast and everything. I would tie in the Flash and Arrow and the whole. That would be my DC cinematic universe, starting with Arrow, because Arrow is the show that started it all, that made everybody go crazy with this stuff. So that's got to be the flagship right there, Arrow. And then everything else connected. And that's what I would do. I would just give the fans what they want. You know, their run goes to a certain time on TV, upgrade them to movies. Just like Star Trek Next Generation went from that to movies. Let's bring them to the movies, upgrade them to the movies. Exactly. And then create a whole bunch of other TV shows, building up other DC characters. Then I would do Wonder Woman on TV instead of in the movies. I would do Aquaman on TV instead of the movies. And build them up there.
Or on Netflix.
Yeah. Build them up there and then bring them to graduate.
I don't understand that idea with the whole, again, I won't understand it. They can explain it to me how many ever ways. I don't care. When you have two heroes on TV, and I know not everything from TV translates well into movies, but if you have the Flash and Arrow from television show up in the Justice League, why wouldn't that work? Why wouldn't that work? I mean, now the way it is, because they've established it as two separate universes.
What?
But when these first started...
Well, Arrow and Flash are the same universe.
No, I mean from the movies.
Movies, yeah.
When these first started, they could have fixed it that way. You can expand your universe on television, and then when you do movies, it becomes something really special.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to have Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck show up in these shows, because that's unrealistic. I get that.
Right.
But who cares? Keep them away. You have Flash and Arrow going on television, and then they show up in the movies. The people who love those shows, when they show up in the movies, will be like, yeah! Like, there they are, you know?
See, that's another thing I never understood, right? What is the big freaking deal for why wouldn't, say, a big actor that's a Marvel hero as a favor just show up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something?
I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know.
Samuel L. Jackson did it.
Yeah, but he loves the character, though.
I know, but I would do it. Pop in there. But whatever. I don't know. I'm all for a Supergirl movie rather than this. I love Supergirl. Friggin' fantastic. And Arrow and everything else in Flash. So, but we'll see. All right. What else did I want to say about the Batman-Superman thing? And Lex Luthor, what the F? Right?
Yeah.
God.
I can't even talk about that anymore, because to tell you the truth, there were so many actors out there that they could have gotten.
Oh, God.
I mean,
what the hell happened? I was thinking, right? I was so psyched when I seen Superman Returns, right? When they were building that up, and then we were hearing that he was going to Krypton, and that it was a direct sequel to Superman 2, I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. It's going to start off on Krypton. He goes back. They cut the whole damn thing. That whole thing with him going back to freaking Krypton, right?
Yeah.
But I did like Superman Returns because it was connected to Superman 2. It was basically Superman 3, but a better version of it than that one, To this day, I still like Superman Returns better than Superman 3 and 4. But the only problem I have with it is that there's no villain other than Lex Luthor. And there has to be a villain. If they would have added a villain, the movie would have been fantastic. But they didn't. And from a toy perspective, selling the toys, you're going to have Superman fight with Lois Lane? Lex Luthor. There was no villains in the case. What are the kids are going to play with? What are they going to do? You know, they're going to throw the Superman around. There's no villain. You're only good as your villain. And yes, Kevin Spacey was a fantastic Lex Luthor, which they should have got him to play Lex Luthor. Why not? You know? But that just needed a villain besides Lex Luthor. You know?
I think if that would have had a villain, that might be the Superman we would have gotten in these movies. If they did it well.
Yeah. So, again, I don't want anybody to get the wrong perspective, Chris. I don't want it to fail because the industry overall, it's bad news.
Right.
Comic books, okay, in general. Like, it does affect Marvel to a point. Just like Deadpool affected every movie because it did phenomenal, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these friggin', oh yeah, Lobo movie. Okay, rated R. Yeah, like I believe you would have ever done that if Deadpool never came out. Or rated R Batman vs. Superman. Yeah, baloney. That never was going to happen. Never. I don't care what they say. There was never going to be a rated R version of that.
I know I'm not going to see it, so I'm not supporting it, but like, there was a time where I wanted it to do well.
I'm surprised you're not going to see it though anyway, though.
I'm not, no.
Really? Wow.
Because honestly...
You're a lot stronger about that stuff than I am.
Honestly, though, it's like, this is my thing, right? If I've complained this much about the trailer and the marketing and stuff, right, and then I go see the movie, to me, that's like me going back on everything I said. Like, that's just from my perspective. I'm not saying that's the way I think about it with other people, but like, for example, I'll use this. There's a part of me that really wants to go see it. Like, I want to be wrong,
right?
But I don't want to go and then walk out of the theater and been like, "Damn it, we were all right and it sucked."
But here's the thing, right? I understand you want to like say, I'm standing by what I say, right?
Yeah.
You got to think of it. The way I see it is like we talk about movies all the time. We're like, I was saying I was not going to go see Fantastic Four, and then I was like, I have to see Fantastic Four because I'm such a huge Marvel fan, and because it's like a responsibility. Like I want to know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to come on the show and say it sucked or it was great. I can't have it where everybody knows what happened in the movie and I don't.
Sure.
So that's like, that's the one thing, like when a show comes out, you got to watch it the minute it happens, or a movie, because people spoil that crap all over Facebook. And it's like, oh, how could you stay off social media for like days or weeks? So that's why I go see it. And I saw Fantastic Four. I knew it was going to friggin' suck, and it totally sucked. But, so there's not going to be anything that's going to keep me from going to these movies, even if I know they suck, because it's like the curiosity killed the cat. I have to know. I have to know if it's going to be good or bad. I can't just, besides, we've been talking about it. It's been building up freaking so long, and now is the time for it to come out. We have to see it. I'm going to go see it, and then I'm going to come back on here and talk about it. So, you could do whatever you like, but I'm going to go see it.
I understand what you're saying. I do. I just, these are two characters that I grew up with. And, these are things I've wanted to see Batman versus Superman for a long time. And I was saying, do Man of Steel 2, do a Batman movie, and then before you do Justice League, do this.
Right. And before, when I was a kid, there was no I'm a Marvel fan or DC fan. I didn't even know what the hell that was.
Yep.
I just knew I liked Batman and Superman and Spider-Man at the same time with all these different Hulk and everything. And it was just superheroes as one thing.
Yep.
When I started getting older and I started learning, because I was like, why isn't Spider-Man with Superman? I started learning, okay, this is separate,
Yeah.
We don't even know these universes. It's just whatever.
It's too many times I've gone to see movies that I've been excited for, and then, like, something really stupid happens, and I'm just like, No. Like Iron Man 3. When I went to see Iron Man 3, you don't know how much I wanted to leave right after that one scene with Ben Kingsley. I was like, I want to go. I don't even care about the rest
When
of
I
it.
saw that, I was in complete and utter shock.
Me too.
And I was like when he was doing all that stuff with the thing he was building.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, it reminded me of, like, either the A-Team or, like, where they were building these stupid gookies or whatever, or, like, what's the other shows we used to watch? A-Team or, like, MacGyver or, like, I'm like, oh, this is like it became like a TV series episode of something. Like, he's going in there with these things, and I'm like, he's not even having the armor on. It was like, oh. And when I saw that and he's talking, I cracked up immediately. But then after I cracked up, it was like, oh, wait. It was the realization that they fucked up the Mandarin.
Yeah, I mean, that was my thing, right? I was into this movie like you wouldn't believe. I was like, man.
Me too. I was like,
great. And then all of a sudden, I didn't know what happened. I thought I was dreaming. I was like, this is the part where I wake up and then I tell my friends, guys, last night, before we went to see the movie, right? I looked at my friends, right? We all went to see, we midnighted that.
right.
I looked over and I was like, I looked at my friend Tyler and I was like, Tyler, who by the way was dressed up like Iron Man. And I looked over at him and I was like, is that real? Or are we being trolled?
Well, after that happened, I was like, okay, where's the Mandarin?
Yeah.
That whole thing with the that wasn't him all the time. I was like, that. Where's the Mandarin? And then I was like, and then I'm like, I'm still seeing this guy, and he's the villain, and he's got the glowing eyes. I'm like, okay, where's the Mandarin? Like, the Mandarin, they can't do this. Like, there's no way they're gonna do this. No, Marvel's not gonna do it. They definitely, that's his main #1 villain. They're not gonna do that to the Mandarin. And then I saw the whole thing over, and I'm like, they did that to the Mandarin.
Yeah.
It's like, it's over. Wait a minute. After credits, no, I was like, they effed over the Mandarin. The
movie got progressively worse after that scene.
And I'm like this. I'm standing there.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is the worst. I was like, how was it so good?
So good.
It was like the movie started, man. It was like 2 scripts. They merged them, and the good half was the first one, and then the horrible.
It was like a Stephen Moffat episode where part 1 is great, and then part 2.
But it was like, I was sitting there, and I was like, what happened?
I was sitting in my chair, and the credits are up, and I'm like this. And I'm like, I'm like, this can't be, right? Like, no. Who would do this? No. But and then I'm like, with Scarrow on the net after something else. He's a real Mandarin's coming. The man, and then I didn't even. They did a short on it to try to make it like the.
I saw that.
I didn't even see it. I was just disgusted. I was aggravated.
It was good, but I remember seeing it. I was like, yeah, okay, they're not doing Iron Man 4. And then a couple of days ago, my friends are saying, oh, no, they'll do it. Then a couple of days ago, yeah, we're not doing Iron Man 4. And I was like, thank you.
And I was like, it was the coolest line. He's like, you'll never see me coming. I'm like, oh!
And then when he shoots that guy, and he's like, no one's going to stop me. Not your red, white, and blue attack dog. Not Stark. None of your Avengers. I was like, this is great.
This is going to be fantastic.
And then when he was in the room with the 2 prostitutes, I was like, what the fuck?
I immediately, it was like something out of Austin Powers. I'm like,
I thought I was having a stroke. I literally was sitting there. Oh my gosh! What is happening?
That's like giving Andrew Garfield the writing power for Amazing Spider-Man 3, and then he wakes up in the bed and he sees like his dream that Mary Jane's a dude, and it's Michael B. Jordan, and it's like, hey, what's up, Mary Jane? What are you doing? Oh, what the hell just happened? It's like, oh my god. Damn it.
I couldn't. I was sitting there and I was just like, So M. Night Shyamalan wrote the second half of this movie. Is that it? Like,
Well, the worst is seeing Fantastic Four, right?
yeah.
I'm like this, and it's like, oh, what do we call ourselves? And I'm like this. I was like this. I was covering my face like it was horrible.
You're like, no,
Oh my God,
no.
please. I was like, oh my God, it can't be this corny. It just can't be this corny. There's no way it could be this corny. That stuff, if it was shown in a foreign country, they whip you to death. If they made that movie, and it just seems like, oh, I don't know, there's four of us, and we're fantastic, so we're the. It's like, and then they zoom in, and I started cracking up. I was like, oh God, what have you done?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're gonna make it when the Fantastic Four is never gonna be made for like 60 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's it.
Oh, no.
That was like in the trailer for Terminator Genesis. When he shows up and he's a Terminator. I was like, oh, so the T-1000 looks like him. That's clever. And then they're like, no, that's him. I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah, when we saw the trailer, I
was like, no.
Why did they just reveal the whole movie?
Thank you.
And I like Genesis, by the way, but I'm like, there's one thing you don't do in movies. You don't make it where the cause is hopeless.
Yeah, really.
When John Connor is like saves everybody, and then you turn him into the villain. Well, what the fuck are you gonna do now? He's leading the whole future of Terminators. What the fuck are you gonna do? Fucking nothing. It's like, why did you ruin the movie? They ruined the whole franchise, everything with that reveal.
But yeah.
I mean, then I kept saying to myself, I tell you, and I don't really do this, but I sent like paragraphs to the company that did that movie. Like even scenarios. I said, listen, you know what? You have my permission. Here's my signature to use this, to fix it, and you don't have to pay me a penny. Just fix it. Because I wanted it fixed so bad. I was like, you cannot do this.
Again, like, I didn't go see Fantastic Four and Terminator Genesis for the same reason. Like, I saw the marketing, and I was like, I'm not going to like this. So they're not getting my money. Like, like...
And Reed Richards was not Reed Richards. He ran away. He was like, I'm like, what is this? He abandoned his friends. I'm like, oh my God.
I took offense to that Terminator thing, like you said, with John Connor, because I remember being younger and watching the first one when Kyle Reese is giving that speech. He's like, he's the first one who stood up and showed us how to smash those metal motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
And then when he's standing in the beginning of Terminator 2, he's got the scar on his face and he's just looking out.
Love that. Love that.
I was like, yeah. And even in Terminator 3, when he's got the American flag on.
No. Let me tell you something. No.
I was like, yeah. And then
I was crushed with Terminator 3. I was completely crushed.
Me too.
In the beginning, when he's in a dog cage.
Yeah.
He's a drug addict. He's like fucked up. And his girl, well, the girl was more tough than he was. And she wasn't even his girlfriend, mind you. And that turns out to be his wife. And then they went a little crazy and saying that how he died in the future.
Yeah.
Which was like, but his kids are now the leaders of the
I was always under the impression that if John Connor died, that was it. Skynet won.
I guess not.
War over, like, you know.
Yeah, but I was like, no. Terminator 3 just destroyed me. Destroyed me, literally. So.
Yeah. I remember seeing, I can't remember. When did that come out? In 2003?
I was so upset. I was so upset.
Oh, no. That was
well,
bad.
You know what? Honestly, the first experience, like not the first experience, one of the biggest letdowns was Alien 3 for me. I was sick to my stomach for a while. I couldn't believe how bad it was. It destroyed one of my favorite things. Even Freddy's Dead. That killed me. And Jason Goes to Hell, I wanted to throw up. I was like, what are they doing? It was like all your favorite franchises were falling apart.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you going to do now? Like Superman 3, Superman 4, I'm like, oh. I was like, oh, my God. I don't know what to do. Like, everything was, like, falling apart. I was like,
Talking about Alien 3, I was really young when I saw the first Alien and Aliens, right? I saw Alien 3, and at the beginning of the movie where they're like, oh, yeah, he's dead, and the little girl's dead, too. I was like, oh, that's morbid.
Yeah, thanks.
This is Aliens, I know, but
you start off the movie with the main characters, the freaking heroes of the movie, they're all like dead because they drowned in the pod or they got a face hugger impregnated. And then she's impregnated too. I'm like, oh.
And then, like, I I remember watching Alien Resurrection, and I was like, what is going on? Seriously.
Saying, I kept saying, like, the excuse, hey, she's not bald. They got gone. Listen, hey, she's not bald. She's not pregnant. She's Super Ripley.
Yeah.
But it still sucked.
I just liked how the voice of Chucky. I loved how the voice of Chucky was the scientist.
Yeah.
He's giving all these weird speeches, and I'm like, bro, listen, you're not playing Chucky in this movie, man.
Right.
Just tone it down a bit. Like, what the hell?
Right. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, and you got Hellboy in there, too.
Yeah, well, he was great.
That was pretty good, too. No, the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen was that stupid speech by Clangton Duke from friggin' Jason Goes to Hell. By Voorhees he was born, by Voorhees he must die. This ancient blade from the 17th century was killing Voorhees. I'm like, what are you talking about, 17th century? Jason was in the 17th century? Yeah. You all killers? It's like, I was like, I was just like this. I can't believe this is happening. It's like when everything is like, it's like basically Armageddon. Everything was falling apart. All the franchises all falling apart at the same time. And I'm like, same thing like Back to the Future 3. I'm like, the DeLorean's destroyed. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
It's like, wait a minute.
What's this? It's over. And it's like, and then Star Trek 5? Oh my God. They're cooking marshmallows. They couldn't call marshmallows. Marshmallows, and they're like talking to each other, and it's like at a campfire. And I'm just like, the trailer was so good.
What year was that?
It was like 89, I think.
It sucks. There weren't even any Godzilla movies.
They had Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade came out, right? Ghostbusters 2. And I remember Ghostbusters 2, right?
Oh.
And I'm like, it's not Ghostbusters 1. That was like my thing. They showed all the stuff with the slime, everything, and they didn't even use it in the movie. They did like a Jello mold.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, from the trailer, I thought it was going to be so great and good, and it was like, what do you mean the Statue of Liberty is walking with sneakers? And I'm like, I was just like. I remember we went to the Metropolitan Museum of Art in school.
Yeah.
But I was looking for the painting in there. Like, I don't know why I thought it was actually going to be. But I'm like, and when you went into the room, right, it was eerie.
Was it?
I'm telling you, when you go into, like, the silence and you see these paintings, it's like the person's soul is in, like, the painting. Like, literally like Ghostbusters. So you get that eerie feeling. So I was like, oh, shit, this is no wonder where they got the idea from this. This is sick. But I liked the whole concept with Vigo and everything, but they ruined it. They ruined it. It was good, but it wasn't great. It was like, Yeah,
I was entertained by Ghostbusters too, but I wasn't like I was with the first one, yeah.
Right. So
And then what, a few years later, 1999, Phantom Menace comes out. And it's like, oh no.
Oh God, that's somewhere I have videos. It's my first ever videos actually filming. And I went all over to get those cups. I went all over to get the toys. It was like tons of toys. And I went I did a whole damn tour. Filming and everything. Of course, the name Matrixlord212 wasn't created then, but I was all over the place. I think it was Time Lord, whatever. But I was all over the place. And the biggest thing, I love the soundtrack. I remember I says, I'm going to buy the soundtrack, right? And I go into, what was it, Tape World or FYE or something? And I buy the soundtrack, and I look on the back, and it says the death of, like, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Like, Qui-Gon's noble end. Yeah.
I'm like, I was like, flip, That's when, like nobody gave a shit about spoiling anything.
Yeah, really.
I was like, oh, God. Why would you do that?
I remember being younger and seeing him, and I was like, I thought Yoda trained Obi-Wan. Like, I was like,
yeah, I'm like, yeah. It's like when you trained me, remember? Like what the? That was a line. Like, you trained him, right?
And I think they realized their mistake because in episode 2, they're like, oh, Yoda trains everybody when they're younger.
Yeah, everybody, yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. I thought Yoda trained, like, the best ones.
Yeah,
like,
how is it that they can only take on one Padawan learner?
But Yoda
trains 17 kids at the same time.
Because he's just that damn good.
I don't think he necessarily trains them. I think he trains, like, classes.
Yeah. I never... That was another...
That's the Earth, and that's Mars.
Like, when I thought of Jedi training, I didn't think it was going to be like, I got to go to school today. We're learning how to force push in first period. Like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they kind of... See, that's the situation where you had somebody that you had to answer to, and now you're doing the movie yourself, and you're just getting in a too much different direction. It's like, oh, Jesus.
Well, Jar Jar's the key. If we get Jar Jar...
This guy's still talking, trying to get what? Interviews or something? He's trying to make like that Jar Jar's a Sith? What is he doing?
People aren't letting that go. They're not letting it go. It was a joke. The guy wrote it on Reddit as a joke, and then like... And
they're taking it...
They picked it up, and they were like, oh my gosh, Snoke is totally Jar Jar. And I was
anybody can make a story, and everybody goes ape shit over it this day.
Really? You know what it was like? It was like being in the Planet of the Apes, right? When Charlton Heston was like, all the humans are stupid. That's what it felt like. I was sitting there like, no.
Right.
There has to be somebody else who knows that this is a joke. Like,
but they do that with everything. Do you see what they did about the Luke is gay crap?
Yes.
What is wrong with people? It's he just answered it because somebody tried to trap him. And he's like, yeah, if you want him to be, yeah. And if you want him to be a green lizard too, that goes, then he is too.
Yeah. And people, they picked it up and they were like, this is it. This is great news. And I was like, this isn't news. It's not real. Like, what?
And before they were calling Donald Trump Hitler, they were calling me Hitler.
I'm waiting.
Hitler is.
I'm waiting for somebody. I'm just waiting. I'm on the edge right now. I'm waiting for somebody to be like, Godzilla could be female. Why not?
Somebody said something about he's a CMOS or he's what was the thing they made him? It was ridiculous. I forgot. I tried to erase my memory from it. I don't remember. It just, God, don't even get me started with that.
I'm waiting for it, man. I'm just waiting for it. I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm punching out. I'll see you guys later.
It's just, I can't tell you good. Well, it's like these people. Now, I know we're going to see everything show, right? So,
yeah.
Would I ever picture Leatherface as like a supermodel kid that has like tons of chicks?
No!
In high school?
No! That's dumb!
And what's he got on his locker? Pictures of a chainsaw that he wants to buy?
Gosh,
cut wood?
You know what it is? It's like that line from Jurassic Park from Jeff Goldblum. Your writers thought that they could do this, but they didn't stop to think if they should. That's exactly the line.
It's like the kid in the playground that has the Batman and Superman. Oh, I'm going to kill you, Batman. Oh, I'm going to kill you, Superman. There you go. That's exactly.
Some kid comes over. He's put like construction paper on his General Zod figure, and they're like, "What's that?" I'm Doomsday. Oh shit!
It's great. But that's the same. Look, it's not just DC though.
No.
Unfortunately, it's the Marvel writers. Some of them that are fanboys as well, and they go like, "Oh man, wouldn't it be great if like Cyclops killed Professor X, and then the Red Skull dug up his body, ate his brain, and then became Onslaught, and then fought everybody, and then they had spells, and heroes are killing people, and villains are heroes, and we could have Carnage be a superhero, and the Hobgoblin, but Tony Stark could rob everybody blind because he turns into an evil son of a bitch. How great would that be?" And yeah, that's what happened.
Maybe as a one-off, but
they really did it. They killed. That's exactly what they did. And you can't even make this stuff up. And I'm just like, and now Tony Stark is almost broke, and Mary Jane is trying to help him out, and Peter Parker is the richest man on the planet. and Loki's running for president, and the Hulk is Chinese, and the Fantastic Four are sewing a blanket in space for eternity, remaking the multiverse with their powers.
This is why I don't read comics. I say that every time. I'm just like, I don't know. Nope.
The worst thing I ever read in my life was when the Thing died. And Reed Richards is like, "I can build anything. I'm the smartest man in the world. There will never be anybody like me. I promise you, Sue. I promise you, Johnny. We're going to save the Thing. He's dead. Put him on ice. It's okay." He's like, "I'm going to invent it." And he's like, "I did it. I created this invention. This invention will follow his spirit into heaven. We're going to heaven. We're going to talk to God, and he's going to bring the Thing back." And I'm like,
"No, you're not." Like, what?
I was like, what? And they did. They go to heaven, and heaven is a Marvel writer that he said he created all of them. That's supposed to be God. And then he's like, takes the pencil, and he's like, "All right, you're alive again. Bye." And then they go back. I'm like, this is canon. They put this in the this is like, oh my God, what did you do? And unfortunately, that was true. It actually happened. Oh, you there, Chris? Unbelievable.
It's crazy.
I never in my life stuff. It's just like, whatever. Please don't destroy our franchises, please, at the same time like they used to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if we lose Batman and Superman, at least keep Marvel going with Spider-Man. And
I think Marvel's locked in for a little while. I just think,
It's the only thing that sucks is the movies are doing great, but the comics are getting effed up. Like, Tony Stark is not adopted. Okay, can I say it one more time? One more time?
Go for it.
Tony Stark is not adopted. I don't care if you're an alien computer, that's the most sophisticated computer in the universe, and you go down to Tony Stark that he's adopted, he's not adopted. He looks like Howard Stark. He is the son of Howard Stark. He's not adopted. I'm sorry. I that's not like, I don't know why you did it. I still don't know why you did it. I don't know why you don't fix it. But you ruined it. Where's Bruce Banner? Where is the Hulk? Why did you turn the Hulk into Shazam? Where a kid becomes totally awesome Hulk. That's the title. And Thor is a woman. It's Jane Foster. And they redid a storyline that they already did with Captain Marvel. Where Captain Marvel had cancer and died. And they're making it that she has cancer. But yet she's Thor. And it's like, Why would she be worthy of the hammer just because she's Thor's girlfriend? This is what I'm trying to figure out. That doesn't mean if Thor's friends with somebody, that doesn't make them worthy to have the hammer. Just because that was his girlfriend, that doesn't mean she should be worthy. Like, why is she worthy? She did some crazy stuff in the comics. So I'm just having a hard time with certain things. But, again, I can't judge it because I haven't read anything with the female Thor. I did read the Ghost Driver and was not feeling him driving a car, like the Speed Racer or whatever crap, Ghost Rider. So, no, dumped that one. But, you know, that's it, man. Batman versus Superman. What is going to happen? We will find out. How much longer? Next week?
Next week, yep.
That's it. We're in. I'm going to see it. You know, me and Sharon. I'll tell you. Actually, tomorrow we go. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday we're going to see Allegiant.
Oh, okay.
Which is the third Divergent, and then there's another one coming out next year. So we're going to go see that. See how that goes. And then I guess Daredevil is out now. I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I got to go to work. If I didn't have to go to work, I'd be binging that the whole night. So, and you know what's weird? The whole time we're in the Zoom, we didn't get that time limit.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
What the hell?
We've been talking way more than 40 minutes.
Maybe if you have two people, I don't know.
That's interesting, right?
That's weird.
That is weird.
I didn't even think about that.
All right, so on that note, Chris, this has been fantastic. I got to say.
Had a great time.
We got to do this again. All right, so take care. Bye for now.